here, our information is clamped down, and if the United States basically said, they said if the United States, the people in the States, doesn't do something to protect ourselves, their information will be quashed as well.
Yeah, well, I've noticed just the last 2 weeks I've gotten about 10,000 visitors from China alone at Sherry Talk Radio. So they're starting to find where the information is.
Yeah, I guess as they get smarter, they can find the back doors out of the state-controlled media.
Right. I find it interesting that about the only country that really seems to just be out in the dark ages is Russia. And, you'll hardly hear anything, I don't, from Russia.
Well, it's because they're sitting there building their nuclear arsenal, getting ready for an attack, or what?
Well, I just think that they have their population so blocked from being able to access information on the Internet.
Yeah.
And China has found their way to my website. So the second leading country right now behind the United States visiting my sites. And so I think we've got about a year. 2009 is really when everything is going to clamp down, I believe, in this country.
All right. And then what do you think about a possibility of a false flag operation hitting the States here soon?
Well, you know what? There's so many of them, and as they get exposed, they just cancel them and they go to Plan B or C or D. And so as long as there are big mouths out there exposing all of their false flags they have planned, they just have to keep changing their plans. Eventually they're coming. You can't stall them forever.
I'll tell you what. Let's talk about this really recent current event here. I don't know. I'm sure you got as much in the news as you are. What about this? Terry Nichols coming out and saying that he has information that the government caused or was complicit in the Murrah building bombing.
Well, I think he's going to be suicided, like a bullet hole in the back of the head, 2 or 3. Suicided, or they'll find him hanging in a cell at 3 o'clock in the morning, beat up first.
Like Ron Brown?
Yeah, well, he was, you're trying to, somehow get out and end up with a little plane crash. But no,
One of Clinton
he's in the federal detention center. I don't think he's going to survive much longer. I mean,
Well, some are saying this is a
smoking
gun.
They kind of disappear or suicide themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been generals that fallen out of boats and, fishing accidents and drownings. And you're right, well, we can't sit here and rattle off the names because neither of us have prepared a list of deaths occurred. I mean, I think it's just emblematic of what they do, and most people know that if you talk too loudly. Now, of course, James Casbolt, he said, as you're well aware, that he had two choices, either to go completely underground and hide from them or come out into the open and hope that the light of day will keep these roaches away.
Yeah. That seems to be the best thing, is just using your real name. People who tend to hide behind pseudonyms.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I guess they do. Yeah, I've not hidden, and certainly you haven't. You have. What do you got? About 10 websites now? Is that what your bio is?
About 20.
Yeah. Well,
about 20, 22. My latest is the MySpace site. It's kind of a fun site. MySpace.com/Sherry Shriner.
Yeah.
Because eventually they're all going to go down, so at least maybe one of them somewhere will stay up.
Well, on the Internet, nothing really ever goes away, kind of like your hard drive. All right, I'll tell you what, Sherry, we've got, as I said, so many questions. Let's just start getting into these. Sherry, do you think that the planet Mars has any significance in the coming alien invasion?
Well, we know that there's bases on Mars. In Babylon, the United States, the ancient modern-day Babylon, known as the United States, has a lot of bases on Mars. We're very popular on Mars. And so, we have this whole NASA charade, spending billions of dollars on these, little robots to go to Mars and discover it. We have these full-blown bases on Mars.
Yeah.
It's all a distraction campaign, NASA is.
Okay, so
the real space program is in Pine Gap, Australia.
So those Mars rovers aren't on a Hollywood backlot somewhere? They're actually up there?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
I can't understand why they can't beam the Hubble onto the moon and solve the moon hoax question and just zoom in on the lander. It's supposed to be in there for 30 years.
Yeah, well, we don't even have to travel by vehicles. They can open portals, and there's gateways and portals they can use to get to these planets, and that's what they use.
Yeah.
And so this whole thing with NASA is just a joke. It's a waste of money.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just a little bit more on that. I remember talking about, I asked somebody about why we can't zoom in on anything that we supposedly put up there on the moon to solve, just to end the controversy about whether we went there or not. And somebody said, well, it's because they went to the backside of the moon, so you never can see it. And then I saw a program on the History Channel, and it says they have mirrors set up where we can beam a laser. We've been beaming a laser for 30 years. Well, I was thinking, wait a minute now. How come those mirrors didn't go on the backside of the moon?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just contradictions all the way around. But this is, again, it's emblematic of the double double-edged, the two-forked tongue of the government, and most people don't hear those contradictions, and they just go, oh, okay, well that's fine,
Well, I had pictures on the WatcherFiles.com that were actual pictures taken from Mars that hadn't gone through the NASA red tape, where they just the red lenses where they make everything on Mars look red. It's actually pretty much a planet just like our own, but they won't let people see that.
Mm-hmm.
It has a red haze over it, so they call it the red planet. But if you look at the ground itself, it's not this murky gray or red that they show in the pictures. It's actually very green. It's a lot like Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't show it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we have this question. Sherry, are you in agreement with David Els and Benjamin Baruch and their views of the coming events on America?
Benjamin Baruch, no. David Els, I'm familiar with him. People all the time refer me and him together in the same breath, and I haven't really ever sat down and read his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really don't want to talk about him, say anything bad. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. All we got to do is mention George Bush, and we go for 10 hours on that. So.
Well, you know what? Benjamin Baruch sets himself up to be a watchman and apostle. And he left the country 2 years ago, freaking out over what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So come on. Either you're a captain on the ship or jump off, and he jumped off. So.
Okay. Will you be telling it like it is tonight, or?
Oh, whatever you want to hear, the way you want to hear it. I mean, I just say it the way it is.
Ain't no doubt about it.
That's the only way I am.
What about this alien invasion? I know Bill Deagle was talking about going to Mars for years and years. When do you see this alien invasion?
2009. Well, you know what? The Lord has told me that this is the year of the year of the locust. The locust is another term for aliens.
Really?
Yeah, and so I've been warning my people that follow my websites or listen to my stuff, read my stuff, that we were going to start seeing a lot more of them on Earth this year. And I've been getting inundated with emails ever since then because I told them about a vision I had about seeing this alien being flying a helicopter alongside a military person. And I don't know if I ever described the person I saw. It was a military female.
Yeah, go ahead.
But then I start getting all these emails about people who have run across these helicopters with darkened windows. Their dogs go nuts when they're around, and they can't see who's flying it. And I started just getting all these people in emails about seeing these types of helicopters and beings around. And I get emails all the time from my list alone about people who are running into people in the stores that just have that dead lights are on, no one's home look.
Yeah.
The dead blank eyes, the blank stares, the hissing and growling because they have orgone on them.
Yeah.
So it's going to become a lot more prominent this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering this, let's crank down a little bit about these people that are walking among us. Is there any other telltale sign? I've seen the people with the blank stare. What else have you ever seen one like shapeshift or walk through a door or anything?
I don't go out enough, I guess, because I told those guys, y'all go out too much.
Yeah?
I live in a too-light town. I mean,
Well, Sherry, let me ask you, do you think aliens are driving some of these black helicopters?
Oh, definitely.
Really?
I've seen it. I mean,
they like it, huh?
They drive these helicopters. In New Orleans, after Katrina had hit, I remember being contacted by a woman who was down there trying to rebuild their house. And every time these helicopters would go over their home, the dogs would just go crazy. And I was like, there's got to be demonic beings because dogs hate these demonic and alien beings. I used to have a dog, and he would just go nuts when they were around.
Yeah, I noticed they did that in Terminator, too.
So I sent down orgone to New Orleans, and we've sent them down to churches in Louisiana, and we've been sending orgone down there, and it's keeping them away from their areas.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but it's not going to stop this invasion, and it's so prevalent with our military and government. It's been in the back all this time. No one has seen it. All these secret treaties and agreements and alignments they've made with these aliens, and these aliens are just going to take more and more and more control of our government.
Really? Well, I noticed, I wonder if it's synchronicity because didn't dogs hate the Terminator 2?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, with Terminator 1 and 2, yeah. I mean, the dogs were always barking whenever they saw one. They evidently could see.
Yeah, well, that's Hollywood, but it's always different when you see it for yourself.
Uh-huh.
When you experience it yourself.
Okay. All right. Sherry, Jim would like to know, how do you see the papacy figure in the New World Order in Jerusalem?
The Pope?
Yeah. What's he up to?
I really just think the Vatican's going to be destroyed and taken out of the way because it's nothing but a distraction right now to anybody's agendas. The New World Order, the aliens, everybody. The Pope is a...
They're just messing the works up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's waiting for the Pope to... the Vatican owns the whole area with the Temple Mount on it. Israel deeded it to them back in 1993. And they do have the control, but the Pope himself knows, because Satan will take that position. The Antichrist will take that position.
You think this I don't know, what is it, infrastructure repair they're doing over there around the dome, is that going to trigger a lot more hatred from the Islamic world?